Day 596, day rating is an 8. Got in 2 runs today. Both were only 3 miles. So this morning run, just got up a little bit later because I went to bed late. It was about 1:30 when I fell asleep. Got up at 5:30 and then hit the snooze button a couple times. Then finally got up, walked the dog, and just said, get ready. Just don't think about it. Just get your shoes on, get your watch charged up, and get out the door. And then run with whatever time you have left. And it was about 7:10, so I said I got enough time for 3 miles. So I did a quick 3 miles. I think the first mile was 7:47, and 7:20, then maybe 7:10, somewhere in there. I don't know if I have it up, but something like that. I just felt good, so I just kind of rolled with it. And I said, okay, great. I feel like I wasn't taxing at all, but it felt nice to get outside and get a run in before work. So I did that, went to work, was a little bit late to work, but not too bad. And then clocked out, came back, played with the pup a bit. I had this ambassador meeting. It kind of fell through, so I'm hoping I can reschedule for tomorrow or sometime later this week. Where's that run at? Okay, here we go. Okay, 7:38, 7:22, 7:03. I'll have the next one up. But then, yeah, I guess it was a Skype one, and I haven't used Skype a lot. I just confirmed through email, said, yeah, let's set up the meeting for 6. And then I run through the email again and said, go to this link, and I schedule a time. Well, 6 o'clock wasn't available, so I selected 5:30 because that was the next closest time. Logged in at 5:30, waited 5 minutes, nothing. Logged out, logged back in, nothing. So then I just said, all right, let's go walk the dog, play with her a little bit, and then wear her out, give her a little treat before I leave. And I have the group run today, and it was kind of a unique group run. It was the kickoff for the rock and roll training, and they had 5-ish groups there. There was the Riot, Aravapi, Soul Sports, Black Men Running, Chicano Runners, something like that. I've only heard their name one other time, so I might be screwing that one up. And I think there was one other group in there that I don't recall the name, but those are the ones that I've heard at least once. And then my buddy Jason showed up, and he's the one that's kind of been telling me about all the races and these running events. And he said, if you go, there's a raffle for a free race entry. So I said, that's good enough to go. And he said, if you sign up, you can get a free shirt. Okay. I'll see you there at 6:30. So I headed out at 6. I logged back in to see if the ambassador meeting was there, available. Tried it for 5 minutes, no luck. So I'm hoping to hear back tomorrow to talk about it again. But then I had to head to the pet store to get dog food. Grabbed the food real quick, threw it in the trunk, went to the run. It was a new spot, so I just wanted to make sure there was enough parking. And it's weird because there used to be a Chili's there, and that's probably the main reason I know where it was. And the Chili's closed, and then it turned into cold burgers and beer, or cold beer and burgers. Beer and cold burger. Beer and cold beer and burgers and cold beer, something like that. I've only been there one other time. Food's great. But oh, oh, excuse me, I'm just getting tired. It's 12:45. But yeah, I've been there one other time, but it was a different location. And this location was at where Chili's was, so I was a little bit confused by that. But I saw a couple runners walk over there, so I knew I was in the right parking lot. I said, alright, so I parked real quick, jogged over, and got there just in time for the picture, and then they were doing a quick announcement about where the trail was, or the course for the night, and then said when you come back there's going to be food available, which I'm game for, and there's a few raffle for prizes, and then there's a sign up for the rock and roll half marathon and marathon. I think you could have signed up for anything. I think they also have a 5K and a kids 1 mile dash or something like that. And then there was also New Balance was there, and I didn't know they were there. Right before the picture, my buddy Jason says, hey, go over here, New Balance is here if you want to try on a pair of shoes. I said, heck yeah. And I've been trying to look for a new kind of tempo running shoe, so it's almost a racing shoe, but one that I can use just to run on tempo days, so I get a little bit of a lighter shoe, less cushion, but and more of an aggressive run. And been looking for one of those because my other ones are getting holes in them, unfortunately. So looking to get those replaced soon. But I also need some new trainers because these ones are giving me such a hard time with digging in with my heel. Anyways, I got it to try on a new pair of New Balance. I don't remember what they were called. I just said, can I just get whatever one's more of a racing or aggressive running shoe? I said, okay, here you go. So did that, put them on real quick. The group took off. I didn't see my buddy Jason, so I thought he got in the front pack and was gone. Turned out he had hopped in the bathroom. So I was got to the light, and he had kind of tapped on my shoulder. I was like, oh, hey. I was like, oh, dude, I was looking all over for you. Where'd you go? I was like, oh, I had to hop in the restroom before we started. I'm like, okay. Well, let's head up the road and catch up to some of these people. So we were at a light, waited for the crosswalk to be oh my gosh. Waited for the crosswalk to signal us to cross the street. So we crossed the street and then cut diagonal and then moved to the side of the road to pass some people. And we settled it into a nice little, I think, average 8:45 pace, 8:44, somewhere in there. And then we had a runner behind us who was kind of just pacing off us. And right before we turned around, you're like, hey, do you guys know the route? I said, no, we're just kind of going. We saw some people turn around, so it's got to be close to here, right? There's got to be a little cone or something. And they said, I don't know, but I was just following you guys. Or we said, have you run here before? And they said, no, I was just following you guys. You're kind of my pacers. And okay, well, it should be up here that we saw some people just turn around, so it's got to be running to this next little bridge. And it's like, okay, well, I'm already at 1.6, and so it should only be a mile and a half, 1.5 out, 1.5 back. So I said, all right. So we're like, let's just go up here just in case. And we went up, nothing there, so we just all turned around, and then we kind of ran the whole way back together, and it was really cool. They were from Iowa and just moved into town, so they were looking for running groups, and so we talked about what we were training for and some of the running groups around town. Then we came back and we all ate together, which was nice. It was just more time for us to chat, catch up. And then Jason and I were joking around because he liked doing, there's 4 or 5 races that he mentioned that he liked and then I didn't like. And then I mentioned a couple other races and he's like, I don't like those. And he's like, yeah, we apparently don't like the same races. And it just based on the distance or the location of the race or the way the race was run. So we had a little laugh at that. But the really cool thing was whoever put the race event together or the run event together said there's going to be appetizers. And normally when there's appetizers, it's just like cookies a pretzel, like something small, like normally not enough to feed. There's probably at least 80 to 100 people there. And they had pita, they had hummus, they had some dipping veggies, or veggies for dipping. They had, what was right above that? I don't remember what that one was. I'm trying to go down the aisle. And then they had some mac and cheese. They had some chips. They had 2 kinds of sliders. They had 2 kinds of wings, and they had French fries. And so I was like, holy cow, like this is really good food. And so we grabbed a plate full of food, and it was almost like a buffet style. You could pour it on your plate yourself and then sit down. And so we had the whole patio kind of reserved to us, which was kind of nice. And we grabbed food, sat down, chatted more. Ended up signing up for the race, so I got a shirt, put the shirts in the car, so maybe tomorrow I'll bust the shirt out and show it on here. But then we waited for the raffle. We all had a little raffle ticket. There's mine. Didn't win, so I had to go buy my own stuff. I just bought the race entry, and then we had a $15 off coupon, so I said might as well. And I was just, I think, kind of in the race mode right now, just to sign up for some good races and get back into training. And yeah, I had a good time. We were there till about 9, talked to my buddy Jason kind of about the YouTube stuff, and he gave me a couple ideas, so might be changing things up here pretty soon. We'll see. And then came back, played with the pup, finished I think I did 50 pull-ups, 60 push-ups, and 25 extensions, tricep extensions, and just kind of ran out of time. I don't want to be getting all sleepy tomorrow, but it's looking to be that way. Oh well. But that was the day. We ran another, 3 miles in the morning, 3 miles in the evening. The morning was a little bit more my pace, and the second run was a little bit more casual pace, conversational pace, which was fine. They were both runs were where they needed to be, so that felt good. And then came back, got the pup here laying down right here with me, and she's ready for bed. So am I. Got the tempo run tomorrow, and we'll see what happens from there. So run your life with health and happiness, and have a good night.